Why, hello there, Mr. Hollywood producer who looks suspiciously like a lamb. Why, hello there, Mr. Hollywood screenwriter who suspiciously looks like a bear. What can I do for you today? I've got this brilliant idea. We're going to take a beloved series from an anime or a comic book and make it into a movie, butcher it horribly, and make millions of dollars. You're brilliant! You get a raise! And that, dear children, is how Dragon Ball Evolution, Mortal Kombat Annihilation, Street Fighter, Tekken, and every other Uwe Boll movie ever made came to existence. I am the Lizard King.
Look out, he's got a knife, and then you turn to the camera, I have a knife.
Hello folks, Tux Martini here once again with my good friend Broku. We're going to talk about film and adaptations of beloved series going horribly awry. Thanks for joining us.
No problem. Thanks
So,
for having me.
no problem. So first off, we've all been there. We've seen that adaptation of a comic book series or an anime, turned into a movie or a video game, and it's going to be proclaimed as the biggest thing ever, and it's a real box office turkey.
Well, the reason for this is they put a lot of money behind it. They see what's popular, like your Dragon Balls, your Halos, and when it's something that popular comes awry, naturally they're going to make a movie of it. Mm-hmm. And they just don't really think about the script writers. They really overlook who's going to write the script. There's hundreds of great writers out there, but they usually scrape at the bottom of the barrel to save money because
those guys come cheap.
They don't come cheap.
Yeah.
They don't. That's how I ended up watching that horrible Tekken movie and the even worse sequel that was made. But that's something for another day. I don't have all the time to talk about that bad movie.
Yeah, but it's just a current trend. You see something getting so popular that it's bound to get a movie. Like you said, Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, what I didn't like about the Dragon Ball movies is that they didn't capture the characters right. Well, they got Bulma as an adventurer, but they made her too hardcore. They just didn't capture the characters right.
They didn't make her slutty enough.
Yeah, well, the reason they didn't do that is because they didn't want to upset the female audiences, which is weird because I didn't even know Dragon Ball had a female audience.
Yeah, the Dragon Ball does. I mean, I can name a lot of people offhand that are women that like Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z.
I guess I shouldn't close my mind that much.
Definitely open your mind, open your heart.
I mean, there's guys that are into My Little Pony, so I wouldn't be surprised. Some adaptations, they always do worry me. Like when I heard that they were going to do another Spider-Man reboot, I thought, oh God, they're going to shoehorn another origin story. We get it. How many times does Uncle Ben have to die,
Seriously, this is the second or third time.
You got little kids in the audience who are like, we get it, Uncle Ben dies, we get it.
That's why he became a superhero. It's all his fault. We get you.
We get it. Just, continue the story on. Just do that. Continue the story, please.
I'd like them to do the Secret War story, if possible.
That would be pretty awesome.
But I can see them butchering it, In my opinion, the only good film adaptation was Mortal Kombat. The first one. Mortal Kombat was, for me, the only good film adaptation of a video game.
Tomato, bro.
Yeah.
I can't really name my favorite adaptation. It used to be the first animated Tekken movie, way back. I was just a kid when it came out. And then I started watching it again as an adult. It doesn't really hold up quite as much, but it's still better than the live action one. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I promised myself I wouldn't talk about it.
It's okay, it's the point of the subject. It's
but
how many horrible movies must we go through? You think after losing so much money, they would actually commit to making it decent? I mean, getting a good screenwriter is like an investment. Sure, you might have to pay a little bit extra for them, but at the end of the day, you might get something really fantastic and that you can film and that'll be a blockbuster.
No, I hear what you're saying, man. It's just they get blind by their original visions. Or they'll just go through a list of things to be made, and they'll say, let's see, Sailor Moon in 2022, yeah.
Please, Lord, no.
I'm joking about it, but I can predict that they will make a Sailor Moon movie in America, and it will just tank at the box office. I think maybe a few producers might get their thumbs cut off because they pumped so much money into this. That's just my prediction.
I don't. I think it can go either way. If you got like the really good hardcore fan, you got a decent writer, maybe they can do it. I mean, in Japan there are live action adaptations. I mean, there was a Rurouni Kenshin one and a Naruto one. I don't know how either of them did. I mean, I got mixed reviews on Rurouni Kenshin. But still, I mean, if you give it in the hands of a Japanese writer, or at least a writer who's a fan and has knowledge of the series, you can do really good. It's like a dual-edged sword. You can do excellent things with it, and you can do horrible things with it.
I'm predicting that if they did do a Sailor Moon movie, they're gonna change the iconic Sailor Scout outfit into like an armored suit or something.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
Probably get someone. Probably get some like up and coming actress. Or
Taylor Swift is Sailor Moon.
I was gonna say like, what's that lady? That's all about that bass playing her.
Oh, Meghan Trainor. Yeah, I can see that too. Okay, so in your opinion, iconic movie that that did well as an adaptation, and one that didn't do so well, like best and worst, like in your opinion.
Good adaptations. You know what was a good adaptation? The Watchmen movie. I know there's a few people that are going to disagree. And yeah...
Me included.
It sucks that they took out the giant squid and they cut a bunch of stuff, but you got to understand, The Watchmen was a long book to some people.
No, I agree. I mean, I love Watchmen. Granted, it was a great adaptation. The ending killed it for me.
They changed it, but that's a slight change.
I don't think... I mean, it's not too slight a change. I mean, they used Dr. Manhattan's powers against him. It's like, nah...
It actually had an interesting turn event.
Very true, but how cool would it have been to have seen a giant squid?
Well, they actually do hit the giant squid in it's more like an Easter egg in the movie. They had like a little thing that said Project Squid and had it crossed out or whatever.
Alright.
They sort of had the squid.
I suppose. Also another adaptation which I liked, but the ending was dead for me, was Kick-Ass. Like, I love the first movie. I haven't seen the sequels, but the first movie is great. But they changed the end. They actually changed the pivotal story point to aside from the end. So, that's one of the things I didn't like about it. But overall, it was done pretty well.
What was kind of disappointing? It's like I haven't read the comic first, but I saw the review of the comic versus the movie Wanted. Because, in the original Wanted, the main character isn't this likable guy. In the comic, he was a dirtbag.
Yeah.
And he literally fought a monster who was made out of feces.
Yeah. I read both the comic and I read, and I saw the movie and it's like, oh
Two
my
different
god.
things.
Yeah, the day and night, literally. It's like, oh my god, why is Morgan Freeman here?
Yeah. Morgan Freeman, I just didn't buy he would be the villain.
I just, so many things went so horribly awry with that movie. And for the longest time, I wasn't convinced that it was related to this comic I loved. Because I read the comic a long time ago when I was in high school. I was like, hey, I want to get this comic, And I was asking around for it. I said, you sure you don't mean Wanted? And finally I said, oh, you know what? Let me see. It's Wanted. And I read this. Oh my god, it's Wanted. Oh my god, they horribly butchered this movie. Like, the salt bath.
Yep.
Like, why? I mean, I saw the movie. Like, I sat through it beginning, middle, and end. It's like, what did you do? This is nowhere near related to the comic.
Yeah.
Nowhere near related.
I share your feeling. I feel the same way about that Tekken movie.
Yeah.
I know I promised not to talk about it, but I'll try not to get...
That's okay. I mean, it's just... It's something that upsets the fans. And we as fans and consumers of movies and comic books and anime and video games, like... I think to a certain extent, we do deserve justice because we're shilling out our hard-earned money to play the video game, read the comic book, see the anime, and watch the movie. I think we deserve some sort of justice and satisfaction.
Yeah, I guess you're right, but at the same time, it comes down to this. It's just a movie. If you don't like it, don't see it.
Very true, but think of it as they make it look good, though.
Yeah, they do really pump it up. When I first saw the Tekken trailer, and they got most of the costumes right, I was like, okay, this might not be bad. Then I heard Tekken City, and then my inner fanboy just cringed and shriveled up. And
threw a table.
Yeah. And so I actually sat down through that movie, and I thought, oh, okay, well, maybe it's not all that bad. Maybe this might be a sleeper hit. Maybe it'll be that one movie. How wrong I was.
Another shot of whiskey.
Yeah. It's like, that's got to be for another review. We got to review that.
Definitely, I think we will work on that. But it just goes to show you how things can be mistreated per se. It's not that it's I know at the end of the day it's all about getting our money, but as consumers, we are given that money. I think we deserve a more than stellar product.
Yeah.
I mean, working in the service industry, I can tell you that I can sell something ridiculously expensive, and most people they willingly pay for it, but other people's like they're like just a discerning critic, and having worked in retail and also being in consumer, it's like the discerning critic routine. It kind of gets old when you're working. It's like, listen, I know this bag is like $50, but hey, you're getting what you want more or less, and it makes you happy, so to speak. I mean, if you don't like it, return it, and that's a whole other story. Man, have I got stories for you in retail. But I'm just saying, as a consumer, if they're pumping out something that they want my money for, it better be good.
You know what would be a good video game adaptation though? I think they could. There's a strong chance that they could make this good. Fallout. The Fallout series, if you ever played it, it's fun game, fun sandbox. You can totally make that into a movie. You can take one character from that or something. It can be done.
Honestly, in my opinion, anything can be a movie. Because, we've seen, as a consumer of movies, I've seen like everything done in film, just about. So anything and everything can be made into a film, And I've had ideas myself for fan-based films, that I hope to bring you soon. But still, I think anything can make a good movie. It's just about who's in charge of it, Not only just the writer, but there's the director and the producer who has their say, and they can change it on a whim, and they can make things go horribly awry. I.e., Spider-Man 3.
Now, you remember way back in the day, they had movies like Leprechaun.
Yeah.
And Leprechaun 2, and Leprechaun Into the Hood, Leprechaun Back to the Hood. I remember not too long ago, I saw a trailer for a reboot of that. And now, what they did with the Leprechaun is they made him dark and scary, like a little swamp monster. And that's not what the Leprechaun was. He was a mischievous little dude running around pulling out people's teeth and ripping off legs. Not some little scary monster thingy.
It's just a sign of the times. Sometimes, it's just who's in charge. It goes back to who's in charge. But, sometimes it's like a demographic. Like, they take polls and studies like of what people want to see,
And people want to see dark, edgy versions of stuff.
Because people are idiots sometimes.
Sometimes it doesn't have to be dark and edgy to work.
What I think is I want something to go back to its roots,
Yeah, I hear you. Sometimes dark and edgy is okay, but
it depends on how you do it and what series you're doing it. If you take like Hello Kitty and you make it dark and edgy and traumatic, it's like people will be furious with you.
Or you just have to go on Newgrounds or DeviantArt to see dark and scary.
Or emo Kitty.
Yeah.
Back to the horrible adaptations. In Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, the latter being the worst of the series. I cannot bring myself to watch it all the way through.
Yeah, I know what you mean. There's always that one movie. There's always going to be that one movie in the trilogy that you kind of don't like.
For me, Batman Forever was kind of pushing it. I mean, I gotta say, and I'm probably gonna get a lot of flack on this, but
here you go.
Batman Forever, in my opinion, was like decent or semi-decent at the very least.
Oh man, here come the angry letters. You call yourself a true Batman fan?
And the angry comments.
You ain't a Batman fan, god dang it.
But like I said, it was for me semi-decent. It was done well enough where I didn't completely hate it. I mean, sure there's going to be some things I disagree, but all in all, it wasn't the worst. Batman and Robin, that was horrific.
Honestly, like whatever movie you like. There's no getting around it. If you like the new Ninja Turtles, good for you. Whatever.
Yeah. But looping back, it's like it's all a matter of taste, and there's no really accounting for it. I mean, I keep saying that, hey, I love Street Fighter. I mean, I know it's a bad adaptation. I know it's a bad movie, but hey, I like it, and I don't judge. I mean, if you like a horrible movie, hey, it's cool. You like it. It appealed to you. Honest, good for you, man.
Yeah, don't beat yourself up.
Yeah.
Leave that to the angry fans.
And in my opinion, there really shouldn't be angry fans, because angry fans are just trying to compensate for what's lacking in their life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cartoon adaptations. Like, back in the 90s, they had a reverse thing. Like
yeah.
The Terminator cartoon. There was a Terminator
they
cartoon.
Had a RoboCop cartoon.
RoboCop.
90s was prevalent for, like, cartoon adaptations. Some of them were good, some of them not so much. I mean, One thing I can think of was like the Beetlejuice series.
I actually like that the Beetlejuice
It's
cartoon.
actually pretty okay. It's not too bad. You know, they toned it down obviously because you know.
Yeah.
Also, the Addams Family.
Oh yeah.
Wasn't so much a fan of it. You
I
know.
never actually really seen that family cartoon too much.
It was decent or semi decent.
Here's some not a lot of people know, but the Dumb and Dumber series. Dumb and Dumber had a cartoon.
So did Ace Ventura, and so did The Mask.
Yeah, but those lasted a few more episodes than Dumb and Dumber were the last two.
Yeah, it's a shame, you know. But you know, it's all about jumping on that bandwagon.
Yeah.
I think I have the Ace Ventura VHS somewhere.
Yeah, it's just for a quick buck, or if a movie does super good at the box office,
they're gonna find every way to market. I mean, I have a mouse pad of The Mask.
They actually made a Free Willy cartoon. Like what the?
Yeah.
They were talking about rebooting Daredevil, not rebooting, but turning it into a TV series.
They did that already. It's Netflix only.
Fuck man, they got
I mean, it looked good, you know. I mean, I saw like the beginning costume. It kind of looked like that blind warrior from Mortal Kombat. What's his name?
Kenshi?
Yeah, there we go.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it looked okay. I mean, and that's another adaptation in my opinion. I mean, I think it was
Kombat as a series.
Yeah. No, I mean just Daredevil. I mean, Jon Favreau. I think that's one of his earlier works. You know, it was strictly so. You know.
What's the list of adaptations you'd like to see and a list of adaptations you would not like to see?
Personally, for me, I'd like to see more of Walter Mosley's work. He's a writer, and he did Easy Rawlins stories. You know, A Devil in a Blue Dress. That was his work that Denzel played in the movie. Great movie, great books. I'd like to see more of his works translated into movies. I think they can be done really right in the right hands. Also, I'd like to see a Cowboy Bebop movie. And I gotta be picky with my words here. Like, I personally think if it's in the right hands, you know, it can be done very well. Like with any other movie, you know, it's just about whose hands it get in. But I'd like to see a couple anime series and done well, like maybe Sword Art Online as well. I think that can be a great movie, you know, if in the right hands.
I'm gonna say a good movie for Marvel, Deadpool, and maybe Howard Duck. I can see him. Back then, Howard the Duck was an awful movie, but now we got more open-minded people in this generation. They could probably do it. They could probably make it work.
I think so too. I agree with you. And Deadpool, I think they're working on. I saw the trailer on YouTube. It was fantastic.
Maybe get the Zach Galifianakis to play Howard the Duck, or what's that guy's name? Jonah Hill.
Yeah. Right.
And now for adaptations we would not like to see.
Personally, leave Dragon Ball alone. First impressions are lasting impressions, and you had your chance. You effed up horribly. I don't want to see Sailor Moon.
Yes, I wouldn't want to see that either. Something else I wouldn't like to see is I don't think I'm going to catch flack for this, but something called League of Legends. It's really popular. It's a really popular game.
Oh, it's a MOBA.
Yeah, it's a MOBA game. I have a feeling that's going to be made into a movie, and I just don't want to see that.
Yeah.
Also, Five Nights at Freddy's. Terrible game, would make an even worse movie.
You're going to get a lot of flack for that because people love Five Nights at Freddy's.
I'm sorry, but I just can't. I can't do Five Nights.
Fair enough. I mean, personally, I don't want to see any MOBA game translated. I mean, Evolve, that game is coming out. I don't think they should try that because it's probably just another.
I mean, they Evolve is kind of like from Predator when you think about it.
Yeah, I know, but still, I think yeah. Let's see. Just anything anime that would be Americanized. You know, not to say I have anything against America. We live in America, but you know, Americanization of films just turned a pile of poo.
Yeah, did you hear they're doing Ghost in the Shell?
I heard that.
Scarlett Johansson.
I'm scared.
I like Scarlett Johansson. I like Ghost in the Shell, but I don't know.
Would they be good together?
It's like, is it going to be in America or is it going to be set in Japan? That's the question.
I think all odds are pointing to America.
I mean, they could probably do it, but maybe not. You know, maybe it won't be the same character from the anime. Maybe they'll go a different route.
I think they will. And that's most likely what's going to be, and I'm just worried. On the subject of film adaptations going horribly awry, I'm here at a local comic book shop called Pulp Fiction to ask one of the workers of their opinions.
Hello, my friend. What's your name?
My name's Ryan.
Good to meet you, my friend. Good to meet you. Now tell me, what's your favorite film adaptation of comic books and movies?
Of a comic book?
Yeah.
Oh man. I know there's ones that people don't like very much that I think are better than people give them credit for. Watchmen gets maligned pretty badly, but I think the end of the movie is probably actually better than the end of the book. It's not too bad. They did a couple things wrong, but it's probably the best version of the movie there probably could be. I'm trying to think what else came out recently. I mean, all the Marvel stuff's been killing it. It's really great, repurposing and making it a better film than it was a comic book in some cases. I don't know if I have like one favorite. I have to kind of watch them all working in a comic book store, and they've been doing a pretty good job with them lately. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I have like one favorite.
All right. And offhand, what's the worst comic book adaptation?
You know, I'll cheat, and I'll say is I don't want to badmouth anything too badly. I say Swamp Thing. How about that? That's far enough back.
All right.
That deserves a really good adaptation. Alan Moore's Swamp Thing run. It's one of the best comic books ever written and drawn. If anybody does it any kind of credit, it will be one of the craziest movies anybody's ever made. But Guillermo del Toro was kind of talking about doing the idea. He wanted to do like a Justice League Dark picture that would have like Constantine and Swamp Thing and maybe Zatanna and a few other characters. If he does that anything like the Alan Moore run, which I suspect he's probably a big fan of, that would be pretty terrific. But the Wes Craven movie, not so great.
And nothing more recent that you can think of or want to speak of?
Jeez, I don't know. Let's see. You know, I didn't care too much for the Amazing Spider-Man movie. Other people seem to like it, but I'm not. You know, it's just that Peter Parker. You know, he's people like to really badmouth Spider-Man 3. You know, the Sam Raimi flick, but I actually think the things people hate about that movie, I actually kind of enjoyed. Watching him be dark and sort of the whole, you know, Saturday Night Fever thing. People think I'm crazy, but that was actually really charming. Like, Peter Parker's a dork. He's a nerd. And so to have him be dark should probably come out really goofy and awkward, just like that movie did. Whereas in the Amazing Spider-Man movie, I mean, like, Andrew Garfield's really cool. He's a great guy. He's a really good actor. But part of the problem is he's probably too cool. Like, you know, maybe they weren't trying to do that, but like part of Peter Parker is that he's the nerd that gets the power, you know? And so that, you know, he's sort of like, they try to make him the loner in the school, but like, even if he was the loner in your high school and good looking as cool as Andrew Garfield is, like, every girl would want to date him. Like, he's not the guy that like struggles to get the girl, you know? Like, that's the whole dichotomy of Spider-Man that I think people really appreciate. So they probably could have, but you know, they get another crack at it, right?
Right.
So we'll see what this new Spider-Man ends up like. And
aside from Swamp Thing, what adaptation would you like to see in the future?
Oh man, not superhero stuff. That's what I'll say. Not superhero stuff. Like, all the superhero stuff's been great, and it's certainly cool that the world has taken such an interest in it. But there's so many good comic books that have nothing to do with superheroes, and things like Walking Dead have certainly started paving the way for those. Walking Dead being, you know, obviously a straight horror comic, and the TV show has just taken off. But AMC has also picked up Preacher, and that's great. I can't wait to see what happens with that. You know, DMZ I think is going to be on the Sci-Fi Network. So there's certainly some other comic books out there that I would love to see. You know, Why the Last Man is just aching to be like a great HBO series or something like that. But there's tons of great comic books, great comic book concepts that are not have anything to do with superheroes. You know, you get horror and science fiction and action adventure and crime. And there's tons of stuff. My favorite stuff, actually, it's not superhero stuff. So I would like to see some of that.
All right. Thank you very kindly, my friend. Nice
You're
to meet you.
welcome. It was nice to meet you too.
Thank you.
All right, folks. Well, we're at the end of the episode. Thanks for hanging with us today. We appreciate it. If you like this video, be sure to click on the links below. Catch out our latest episodes, our last ones. Hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr. And we'll see you next time. Catch you later.
See ya.